Welcome to the Snapback Life podcast, where resilient women come to reclaim their power, heal from trauma, and step into their most authentic selves. I'm your host, Jacinth Dada, your snapback from trauma to triumph life coach. And I'm here to guide you on your journey to healing and empowerment. In each episode, we dive into personal growth, overcoming adversity, and building a life that reflects your true potential. Stick around until the end for some exciting resources and opportunities to further your journey. Let's snap back and thrive together. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Snapback Life session with Jacinth Dada. I am praying and hoping that your day is going well. It is just an amazing day to be grateful and to be intentional. Today, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, and that's intentionality. So I just want to pause for a moment, give a few minutes, probably a minute or two, since I came on about a minute or two late, for others to join us in this amazing topic that we're going to talk about. So again, welcome to the Snapback Life with Jacinth Dada. It is always a privilege to be on, to be discussing, topics that are authentic, topics that we can resonate with. So my prayer and my hope is that today you will leave away from this discussion having a new height of being intentional about how you live your life. So living life intentionally, embracing the snapback life. And before we get into this, when I started the new year, one of the intentions that I had was to read 2 books per month. And one of the books that I completed reading was a book by John Maxwell. And I was so inspired by it, and not only inspired, but I was even more motivated to live life with intention, because that has always been something that I do, right? I am very conscious of the fact that it's very important to live our lives with intent. So today, that is what we're going to dive into, right? Purposeful and resilient living. And that is the sum total of what intentional living is about. So today's discussion, as I said, is inspired by John Maxwell's book, Intentional Living, Choosing a Life That Matters. It was such a powerful reminder for me that living life with intentionality is the core of being significant, of living a life that really matters. Rather than setting resolutions, right? We need to embrace the idea that intentionality focuses on purpose. It focuses on our actions and what is meaningful and purposeful in our actions. And when we do this, what happens is that we make meaningful impact on others and those around us. I have a lot of notes on this because when I was really excited about bringing this discussion to our platform. So bear with me as I go through some of these notes, because I don't really want to leave out anything. When we embrace intentionality, right, there is an excitement that happens. And not only that, we are put in a position to focus on not only understanding that we as individuals are valuable, because remember, the Bible always says, and this is one of my favorite scripture, that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that tells me that we have value, right? We have value. And the fact that we recognize that we have value and we are valuable, our intention in life should always be to add value to others. So this episode will explore what it means to live life with intention, both on a personal level and on a broader level, right? We first want to begin with those that are closest to us, our spouse, our children, our family, right? And those within our sphere of influence, and provide what we're going to do. We're going to talk about providing actionable steps to embrace this concept of intentional living on a daily basis. So before we go further into this, I want to ask the question, what is, in your opinion, in your definition, what is intentional living, right? How do we live life with intention? So living intentionally, I'll give you the meaning that I have. Living our lives intentionally means to recognize our power, positively influencing, as I said, first our family, those that are closest to us, our spouses, our children, our communities, and our environment. And we can even go broader than that, right? We can influence on a global level, right? It's about choosing actions that add value and inspire growth, compassion, and understanding against diverse spaces. On a personal level, living intentionally is about aligning our actions with our values and choosing to live a life of significance. And as John Maxwell says, he puts it this way. And when I read this quote in the book, I had to pause for a moment and really did an introspective assessment on my own self. And this is what one of his quote, it says, quote, "Every generation gets an opportunity to make a difference. But the people of every generation have to seize that opportunity." I mean, I want you to pause for a moment and think about that. In every generation, with every individual, we all have an opportunity to make a difference in our own lives, to make a difference in the lives of others, and to make a difference globally. But guess what? Those opportunities, when it comes, it's an opportunity, but we don't become significant. There's no significance when we don't seize those opportunities to make a difference. So as we pause on this, what opportunities have you had that you did not seize? What opportunities, even on this year, that came your way and you did not harness those opportunities? I can think about a few opportunities that came my way and I did not seize that opportunity. And sometimes when that happens, we fail to do that out of fear, out of doubt. And sometimes we fail to recognize the value that we have and the influence that we can have on others, and the fact that we can add value to someone by seizing an opportunity that has been given to us, right? I want to give you 3 examples, simple examples on how we can live life with intentionality. Number one, engaging in service. This is a powerful thing. A lot of times in our journey in life, we're focused on our dreams, we're focused on our visions. And sometimes if we are not careful, what happens is that the focus becomes 100% on us, on what we are trying to accomplish. But there is a difference between significance and success. And one of the things that I learned in the book by John Maxwell on living life with intentionality is the fact that one of the things I remember reading in the book was he said that when you have a taste of significance, success is no longer your goal, right? Because when you have that sense that you add value, you made a difference in someone else's life, then success is no longer the goal. It's to be significant. It's to add value to others. And for me, that's what the snapback is all about. Years ago, I had this passion about helping women, helping young women of all ages who have been through any level of trauma, challenge, and pain, to be able to harness, right, the fact that they are valuable and that they mean so much to God, right? And that trauma is not a dwelling place. It is a place and is an experience that we have on the journey of life. And there is another side to trauma. And because I experienced trauma, and God in his love and in his wisdom and in his, just his unconditional love for me, was able to bring me in the right spaces, to bring the right people in my life, to bring the right coaches, the right mentor in my life, coupled with his word to bring me on the other side. So when I came out on the other side of trauma, of pain and challenges and the difficulties of life, I realized that I had a responsibility to help women, to help others to come over on the other side, and that is possible. So let's continue with this. Here are 3 examples. Engaging in service, whether through volunteering, mentorship, coaching, or community service, right? Lending a hand to those that need help, buying groceries for someone that needs help, right? Being aware of your neighbors, being aware of those within your community, right? Even within your home, that in your family that needs your assistance, that needs your service, right? Engaging in activities that uplift others is a powerful form of intentional living. It's a way to actively participate in bettering the lives of others while embracing our sense of purpose and fulfillment. That is, to me, is powerful. It's all about adding value to others. And the second way that we can live a life of intentionality is setting purpose-driven goals. Purpose-driven goals, right? Years ago, I read this book. I forgot the author. It's a pastor. And he wrote this book on the purpose-driven life. Let me tell you, that was such a transformative book for me during those years. Instead of setting traditional goals, an intentional approach might be setting purpose goals, goals that align with your personal values and your passions. Listen to that. When you understand what your passion is, when you understand what your assignment is, then your goals are set in alignment with your passion and with the assignment that God has given you. For instance, instead of simply aiming to advance your career. That is good. But one might focus on your career taking a role that allows your community to move forward, that contributes to a broader, positive impact, such as engagement or leads initiatives that bring about meaningful change. And I want to just tap on this for a little bit, that we're in a season where we have the opportunity to make a difference in our nation as we vote, right? And like I posted on this morning, I think it was, or yesterday, that the candidate that we select it's not anybody's business. It's not anybody's prerogative. But as residents, not resident, but as citizens of this great nation, we have a responsibility to cast a ballot, to vote, because when we vote, we are actually being intentional about making a change in our nation, making a change in our communities, right? So I just want to tap on that and to encourage each and every one of us, if you have not yet done that, to be intentional about making a difference when we cast our ballot. And that's one of the ways that we can make a positive change in our nation and in our communities. And the third way that we can live intentionally is acts of daily kindness. It seems far-fetched, but one of the things that we can do in our everyday life is ask ourselves each day, what can I do today to make a difference in the lives of those in my sphere of influence? What can I do? Even on social media, we know that social media is such a platform that reaches people on a global scale. And as women that want to make a difference and to be significant, right? To live a life of significance. One of the things that we need to be mindful of is, what are we posting? What are we talking about? How are we promoting our passions? How are we promoting our values? How are we making a difference in the lives of those who comes on our platform and are reading what we are posting or listening to what we are saying? What is the impact? What is the value that we're adding to those that are, will visit our platform, to those that will listen to us, right? What is the impact that we are making, right? So these small, consistent actions build habits, right? Simply kindness. And one of the things I always focus on is, whatever I do, my message, my passion must first begin in my home. Do you understand? Because I always tell my kids that it's okay for people on the outside to, give you accolades and to say, wow, you're so powerful. You're such an influence. You're such an inspiration, but what matters most is what those in your family, your spouse, your children, your extended family, what are they saying about you, right? Is the message, the acts of kindness, the daily acts of kindness, right? The Bible calls that the fruit of the Spirit. There's 9 fruits of the Spirit. And one of those fruits is kindness. The Bible even goes back and it says, we are able to know people, not by how articulate they are, not by how successful they are, not by how powerful they are, but by the fruits. By their fruits, you will know them. What are the fruits? Kindness, love, quietness, gentleness, joy, peace, faith, love. It goes on and on, right? So as women that want to make a difference in the lives of others, we must first begin to know what the fruits of the spirits are, cultivate those fruits, and bear those fruits in our daily lives, right? Because that's what matters. What matters is having platforms, but knowing that what you are saying, how you live your life of significance, how you add value to others, that's what you're doing when no one is looking. When no one sees you, when you're in the secret place of your home, when you're dealing with your family, your children, your spouses, right? Those on your job, right? How are we demonstrating, right? How are we demonstrating love? How are we demonstrating daily acts of kindness? From actively listening to a friend in need, right? To encouraging a colleague, intentional kindness builds stronger connection, and it leaves a lasting impression and impact, and it adds value to others, right? So, like I said at the beginning, I was inspired by the book, one of the books I read this year by John Maxwell on intentional living, right? So there were some quotes in the book that resonated with me, and I wanted to share them with you. Maxwell's words, Mr. Maxwell's words, offer insight into the heart of intentionality. One quote that resonated with me deeply was, quote, "Intentional living always has an idea." When you live your life with intentionality, there is always ideas. And those ideas, in my opinion, always have some value to add to someone else, right? Intentional living always has an excuse. No, I want to say this. Unintentional, right? Unintentional living always has an excuse. Think about that. When we have excuses, that is a sign, right? And a symptom that we are not intentional about living our lives. For example, when we talk early about seizing opportunities, right? A lot of times we miss opportunities because of the excuses that we tell ourselves. I'm not good enough. I don't think I have the education for that. I don't think I have the training for that, right? These are some of the excuses we give ourselves, we tell ourselves. But when you begin to live life with intentionality, excuses are no longer a part of your vocabulary. No, you face life, you seize opportunities. And I want to just pause here for a moment and give an example. You know, over the years, I realized that to live a life with intention, in most cases, you cannot do that silo. You have to bring along individuals that you see and understand that they're living a life of intentionality. And I'm talking about having coaches, mentors, spiritual leaders, right? People that you look up to and people that can come alongside of you and empower you to live a life with more intention. And one of my coaches, I even sent her a message or post this on her page today. One of the things I admire about her, right, is the fact that ever since I've known her, she was the type of person that seized opportunities and was quick to act. And for me, I needed that in my life because I am a recovering procrastinator, okay? And when I see her and when I see how she moves with her business, because she's not only, in my opinion, she's a thought leader in our generation. And not only that, she's a leader, transformational leader, right? And she empowers me to be more intentional about my ministry, about my business, and about my passion to empower women, right? To live the snapback life. And there are times that we have to hire coaches, hire mentors to help us to fulfill the vision and the call that is upon our lives, right? I went off a little bit there, but I just wanted to interject that this living life with intention reminds us that intentionality begins with a clear vision and the willingness to take action, right? Another powerful quote by John Maxwell, quote, he says this: "We overestimate the event and underestimate the process. Every fulfilled dream occurred because of dedication to the process." Oh my goodness. I want you to hear this again. We as women, and since I'm talking to women, I want you to hear this. He says, quote, "We overestimate the event and underestimate the process. Every fulfilled dream occur because of dedication to the process." And let me say this. I am a testament to that. Several years ago, when God gave me this vision for the snapback life and to open my business and to, run with this concept of empowering women to overcome trauma, from trauma to triumph. Let me tell you, initially, to me, I felt like I'm not equipped for this, right? So as women, we have a tendency to overestimate the event, to overestimate our dreams and our vision, and underestimate the process. Let me tell you, to fulfill your dream and to fulfill the assignment that is on your life and to live a life of intentionality and purpose, there is a process. And sometimes the process is so intense that you want to just give it up. But when you are a woman of intention, you are going to be committed, to be consistent. And that is the key, to be consistent to the process that is needed to fulfill your dreams and your vision, to be intentional in your life's journey. This underscores the importance of consistent, purposeful steps towards making an impact rather than just hoping for sudden change, right? We can't just hope. We have to take actions, ladies, right? And listen, while I am talking, I'm talking to myself because listen, a teacher cannot teach. You cannot have passion for something that you have not already learned or that you have not already experienced, right? I cannot encourage you to have coaches and mentors, right? I cannot encourage you and empower you to be consistent and to live a life of intention if I myself have not learned this process and I myself is not living my life with intention. So there is 2 actions that I want to share with you to begin to live life with intention, or if you're living life with intention, I salute you. But these are 2 examples, 2 actions that I want to give you that you can begin or continue to live your life with intentionality, embracing the snapback life. Number 1, define your purpose. What is your purpose? Take time. Defining your purpose is, I would ascribe this to, having a vision statement, right? Having a vision, right? Having a vision for your life. So we're able to do this by taking time to write down what matters most to you. right? I always talk about writing the vision, because a lot of times we need to take the vision, the dream, out of our heads, out of our minds, and write it down. Because when we see it, the Bible says this in Habakkuk, it says, write the vision and make it plain. And when you see it, when other people see it, they're going to run with it, right? You are going to run with this vision because you see it. It's not only in your mind, it is now written so that you can see it and you can take the action that is needed to activate the vision that God has given you for your life. Outline your core values and ask yourself how your daily actions align with your vision. Because anything that we're doing on a consistent basis, there's a quote, I want to remember this. It says this, the quote says, what you do every day matters, because whatever you're doing every day, it's how you're going to live your life. What you do on a consistent basis is an example, or it's a result, right? It is the result of your dreams, your vision. Being clear on your purpose makes it easier to make decisions that resonate with who you are. And not only who you are, but where you are going. So vital, ladies. And number 2, the second action that we can take on a daily basis, right, is number 2, create a daily intentions list. When I wrote this down, I was thinking, it doesn't have to be daily, but it has to be something that is done on a regular basis. One of the things that I do, and I've been doing probably since the age of 12, is journaling. And I have developed that activity. And let me tell you, it is something now that sometimes I go back and I look at some of the journals that I've written, and it blows my mind that in this season of my life, I'm living some of the prophetic word that God has spoken to me, some of the prayers that I've written, some of my desires that I've written, right? I am now living in some of those visions that I wrote decades ago, in my 20s, my teens and 30s. So being clear on your purposes is absolutely vital. So this checklist that I'm talking about, it's really a journaling. It's really sitting down and writing your vision. And let me tell you, our vision changes at times in different seasons and in different times of our lives. But what does not change is our purpose. Because God has so many ways of how we accomplish our assignment, how we accomplish the work that he has ordained for us to accomplish before the foundations of the world. So our purpose remains steadfast, but the vision changes as we evolve, as we become more and more like Christ, as we become intentional in our living, as we begin to bear the fruits of the Spirit. This could be as simple, right? As simple as helping someone in need, practicing gratitude. Oh, this is a biggie. When we begin to practice gratitude, that is a big sign that we are evolving, that we are now living a life of intentionality. Because when we focus on gratitude, when we focus on the blessings, then what happens? We want this blessing to overflow into the lives of others. So practicing gratitude is a big indication of living a life of intentionality, or dedicating time to a personal project that fuels your passion. What is your passion? What do you believe that you were born to do? And one of the key sign to that is pay attention to the things that you do on a daily basis. Pay attention to when you say, I wish I could do that. I can't wait to be able to do that. Pay attention to those moments, because those are indicators to what your purpose is, what your passion is. Align yourself with activities, surround yourself with individuals who can fuel your passion, who can fuel your vision and cause you to live a life of intentionality. Ladies, this has been fantastic. One of the things that I'm telling myself, and I continue to tell myself, I want these sessions to be 30 minutes or less, because I value your time. And I know that as women, we're always on the move. We have so many responsibilities. And I realize that, and I want our sessions, our conversation on the Snapback Life to be very short, so that we can, value our times. So in conclusion, ladies, I want you today to think about living life with intention. Think about some of the actions that you can take on a daily basis that can propel you into a life of intentionality. So in conclusion, embracing the Snapback Life is always about intentionality. Living intentionally is about resilience and commitment. It's also about seizing opportunities to add value to others. Embracing the Snapback Life means bouncing back from life's challenges, from life's trauma, from the pains that we experience in life, with a renewed sense of purpose, with a renewed sense of intentions, making a conscious choice, ladies, to impact our world on a daily basis by aligning with our purposes, engaging with our families, engaging with our community, engaging with those that God has sent and will continue to send in our ecosystem, in our sphere of influence, and committing to meaningful actions that we can create and make a difference and create a life of significance. So today, ladies, decide to be intentional about being intentional. Seize opportunities and make a difference in every moment. And listen, we're not always in the mood to do that, but it can be done. It can be done. Be intentional. Enjoy your day. And remember, life is a gift. Live it well. Thank you for tuning in to the Snapback Life podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an opportunity to snap back and thrive with us. And if this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with your friends, your family, or anyone who could benefit from joining our powerful community of resilient women. I'm also accepting speaking engagements, so if you're looking for a dynamic keynote speaker for your next event, let's connect. You can find more details on my speaking, joining the Snapback community, and all things the Snapback Life at thesnapback.org. Again, at thesnapback.org. Until next time, remember, your comeback is always stronger than the setback.